And remember, there's a few basic rules that apply to the locker room. Number 1, no cell phones in the locker room at any time. Cell phones that are out will be confiscated. Number 2, no food or drink in the locker room at all times. We have problems with ants and mice, and we don't want to have any trouble with that. So no food or drink in the locker room. Number 3, no horseplay. We don't want anybody getting injured. As soon as you're dressed, up and out of the locker room to your assigned area. And number 4, no sharing lockers. Everybody needs to have their own locker. If you have any trouble with lockers at any time, you can't find your lock, you're missing clothes, any locker room issues, please see Ms. Barker or Mr. Liu, and they'll be happy to help you with that. Thanks so much.
Well, hi everybody, and welcome to Rancho Cucamonga High School. I'm Jim Shorts, and I'm here to help you today with learning how to be successful in the locker room with your PE clothes and your street clothes, your backpack, and your lock. As you enter into the locker room, you will have already filled out a card. Boys, you will have a blue card which looks like this, and on it, it will identify which locker you have. You'll have an A locker if you're in first period, a B locker in second, a C in third, a D in fourth, and E in fifth. Girls, you will have the same card, but it will be pink with the same numbers on it, locating where you will have your locker. When you come into the locker room, you will come and try and find your locker. If you're 58A, and we have located it right here, this will be the place that your PE clothes will stay every hour except the time you're in PE. When you come to get dressed, you'll come and you will take your lock off your locker, put your clothes in the long street locker down below. Now notice, there is a long locker up above. It has a T. That is T for team. That means athletes will be using this long locker. If you're a PE student, you will never use this locker. You'll have the same number locker down at the bottom. It goes with the same number that's up here. The second period person who's 58B will also use this. So you can never leave your school clothes in a long locker. When you come to the locker, your PE clothes will be inside. That will also include your shoes, any deodorant, soaps, or other items that you need for personal hygiene while you're going to be in the locker room. And they will remain here when you're not here, and you will close the locker just like this and lock your lock. When you're getting dressed for PE, you'll open the door up. Please watch out for the corners and edges that you don't hit your head and cut it, and that you don't actually bump into another locker. Stay away from the locker until you need to reach in and grab something. As you begin to take your clothes off and put your backpack in, you may have some problems and issues. A lot of times, trying to get the backpack in, it's too big. It won't go in. So what you'll need to do is take a book out and see if your backpack will now fit. If it does, good. We're ready to start getting undressed and dressed for PE. The first thing you want to do is take your shoes off and put them in the bottom. This begins to establish a base for putting your clothes away in the opposite order that you'll get dressed. Your backpack will then go in next. You slide it in, take the excess books, build a shelf inside the locker, and then begin to undress and put your clothes in at the same time you're dressing. Just remember, once you've gotten dressed and you're ready to leave for class, you need to make sure that all your valuables are placed inside your locker, preferably in your backpack or an area that they will be secure. Do not leave them in the bottom of the locker. Look around, check the bench, make sure that there is nothing left that is yours that you laid down. Do not lay your watch or your cell phone on the bench. Somebody could pick it up. Place them inside your locker, inside your backpack. When you're done putting all of your valuables away, it's so important, again, and I'm reminding you, that you make sure that this lock comes out and goes on the locker, and that you lock it and spin the dial. Make sure the door is closed, and again, check. Don't be so eager to talk and socialize that you do not take care of your own personal items. Once you have your uniform on, you're ready to go to class. All of your clothes are now out and into this locker down here. You'll close it, and you now take your lock and lock it. Make sure it's completely shut on this locker. Nothing remains inside the small locker. Close the door so no one gets hurt, and now you may head out to class. Do not loiter or remain around in the locker room. Just a reminder, state law says a cell phone may not be out in the locker room. That device may only be used when you're outside. When you leave this area, make sure your locker is locked. Spin the dial. Do not preset the dial so it's easy to undo when you come back in. It's very possible the lock could slip and go down. When doing your combination, cover so that other people cannot look over your shoulder and steal your combination. Once you get this card filled out on the first day of locker assignments, make sure you pull your cell phone out, put your numbers, your serial number inside that cell phone so that you'll have it and not have to come talk to a teacher or one of the locker room attendants. We want to make this a happy and successful time for you at Rancho Cucamonga High School. Our bathrooms are located at the south end. Please, once you've got dressed, go to the bathroom because locker rooms will be all closed once you leave. You'll then head out to your roll call number. At the end of the period, when you come back in, you'll do the same reversed order on getting dressed. There will be a lot of noise in the locker room as you hear right now. When you come in, undo your locker down here, begin to take your PE clothes off, put them back up in the small locker. Begin to get dressed and do the same things that you did in opposite order, and then you're off to your next class. Remember, once you come back into the locker room and you get your lock undone and you get dressed, put all your PE clothes back inside the locker, take your lock, lock your clothes up, make sure you have your shoes, your soap, your comb, and any personal items that you'll need for the next day. Close your locker, lock it, and spin the dial. Again, check your locker. Make sure there is nothing left inside. You have all your valuables, your backpack, your shoes, socks, clothes, anything else that you brought to PE at the very beginning. Nothing should be left on the bench. When you go to PE, just a couple reminders. You should only have your shirt, your short, your socks, and shoes. Cell phones do not come to class. Watches do not come to class. Those items all remain in your locker. When you're in the locker room, if you need any help, we do have locker room assistants. Mrs. Barker is on the girls' side, and Mr. Liu is on the boys' side.
And remember, most importantly, you must dress out every day. A non-suit will severely affect your grade. It drops it immensely. We are all here to help you in any way that we can. If you need loaners, please check those out with the appropriate locker room attendant. Talk to a teacher about any problems that you have. We are here to make you successful. So if you have any problems, please let us know, but dress out. Thanks.